Welcome to World Chronicles, where we delve into pivotal moments in history that have shaped our world. Today, we take a closer look at the Cuban Missile Crisis, a 13-day standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union that brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. Our story begins in 1962, when tensions between the two superpowers reached a boiling point. Cuba, under the leadership of Fidel Castro, had become a close ally of the Soviet Union, much to the dismay of the United States. On October 14, a U.S. surveillance aircraft discovered evidence of Soviet missile installations in Cuba. This discovery set off a chain of events that would challenge the leadership of President John F. Kennedy and test the limits of diplomacy. President Kennedy went before the American people on October 22, 1962, revealing the existence of the missile sites and declaring a quarantine, or naval blockade, around Cuba. The world held its breath as the crisis unfolded. The crisis intensified as Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev publicly denounced the U.S. blockade and insisted on the removal of American missiles in Turkey as a condition for dismantling the Cuban missile sites. In response to the escalating tensions, the United States prepared for military action. Troops were mobilized, and the world anxiously awaited the next move in this high-stakes game of brinkmanship. Diplomatic efforts were also underway, with the United Nations serving as a platform for dialogue. Back-channel communications between Kennedy and Khrushchev became instrumental in diffusing the crisis and preventing all-out war. Behind closed doors, negotiations continued. Both sides recognized the catastrophic consequences of nuclear conflict and sought a way to resolve the crisis peacefully. Finally, on October 28, an agreement was reached. The United States agreed not to invade Cuba, and the Soviet Union pledged to remove its missiles from the island. Over the following weeks, the Soviet Union dismantled its missile sites in Cuba, and the United States removed its missiles from Turkey. The Cuban Missile Crisis had a profound impact on global politics. It marked a turning point in the Cold War and led to increased efforts in arms control and the establishment of a direct hotline between the United States and the Soviet Union to prevent future misunderstandings. The Cuban Missile Crisis serves as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by nuclear weapons and the critical importance of diplomatic solutions in times of crisis. It was a moment when the world held its breath, and humanity's future hung in the balance. As we reflect on this tumultuous chapter in history, let us remember the lessons learned and strive for a world where dialogue and diplomacy prevail over conflict.